There we go. Hey guys, time for some RimWorld and some chill wave, and I'm actually gonna jump in my Discord and hop in a general chat, and if someone wants to come hang out and talk, I'll see what we can talk about. See if you think something interesting to say. Want the 3 or 4 people that'll watch it, see what you sound like, whatever. It's up to you. You come do you. Come chill. That's the whole point. I want to eat while I play, so if you hear me chewing, I apologize. You shouldn't be able to though. Between the music and the fact that I don't really have to chew. So we're gonna load. I don't remember the exact ending last time, but I do know that at this point, all of my original colonists are dead. So that's a fun thing. Just let this do its thing. Spawning all things. Oh gee. She's all fucker. Who's Vort? Is Vort an animal? This Vort's my prisoner. Colony got fucked up. That was the first time I'd ever been raided with. Oh, hello, Scary Gorilla. What's going on? How you doing? Oh, why am I moving so slow? Oh, I'm doing alright. I might be able to name one after you. Let's see. If I can convince one, are you male or female? muted my mic. I don't think I asked that with my mic unmuted. Do you want me to name your character Scary Gorilla? I haven't selected a new research project. For the reason I was going for this, I need this and this, but I need a new thing. Just scary. Alright. Well, you're gonna be Dems. Yeah, that's a more befitting name for him. There you go. Now Dems is scary. And he actually kind of is. He's a beast shooter, and also he only went on a rampage like 9 times. So it's a befitting name. There's a bunch of food over here. Where's the fire at? Is that a chainsaw? Oh, it's a dead guy. Now it's raining good. Oh, chili broke. All of my original colonists have died, and Chili, I got out of a escape pod. I happened to be one of my character's father, and now it's the last of my original characters to die. Well, she can't walk. She doesn't need to hunt. It's a really fun game, actually. It's kind of a chill game. That's why I have the title that I have. I just play it when I get home from work. I get home off work pretty late, so I just come home and play it and chill out, and I can pay attention to what people are saying. I can pause it easy, and it's not, you know. But it can get pretty stressful if you like. I'm playing. There's a one of the storytellers, the AIs, is supposed to be nice and chill, and that's the one I went with just for make it a little simpler. But it can get pretty difficult. That gosh, I should not want to die. Oh, kid's up and moving around. That's good. Actually, I'm gonna pause it for just a second. I'll go back. Oh, go back. No. I'm dumb. Hold on. Alright. Please don't shoot your own animals, you dickweed. God damn it. I'll need a multi-analyzer, which I researched, so I have to. I don't know how to make the multi-analyzer. Hopper. Oh, it's right here. Oh, it needs gold. It needs gold. I'm just gonna stick it there. In the corner. Alpaca. Let me check the stats of a lot of my animals. Can you all out more, man? Oh, Chili's back out of his daze. That's good. Everybody's sleeping, better speed up. Well, nobody's sleeping yet. People should be sleeping. There they all go. Man. Animals are getting their ability to walk back. That's nice. What's going on, Jason? How you doing, man? Alright, Gorilla, take it easy, man. I will do that, because I do that constantly anyways. But have a good one. Thanks for coming by, man. Where were you working, Jason? Where? Yeah, I got home. Oh. What time did I get home? I don't even remember. But I got off work hella late. Yeah, Shark Night for us as well. And I think we were a man short, or they just didn't schedule they normally were scheduled 4 people, and they only had 3 people. It just felt like it took so long to get everything done, it was kind of frustrating. Well, you're not supposed to store corpses in here. Not people corpses. Right? Inventory life. How do I build a thing to... Oh, I didn't do that. I was just gonna do more grace. We're gonna have space for graves up there. I got fucked up last time. Enemies sort of spawn randomly. They'll raid you or whatever. Oh. Or this local deer can go mad and decide that she wants to kill everybody. So I just tag her for hunting. In fact, I'm going to tag the squirrel, it'll be hunted. They just kind of invade and then... Why is she so mad? There she is. Up here? Gazelle, you dipshit, why'd you just walk out into there? You have a gun though, you can just... Oh, you have a fucking LMG, I forgot. Da 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 da. This girl's a terrible shot. But you gotta practice. What are you doing out here? You're food now. Look at Carissa go. Oh yeah, Jason, if you want to hop in the Discord, I'm in general chat. So if you want to hop in and chit chat, you'll be live on the air with me, but... So that's something I wanted to do. Not quite a podcast format per se, but something where it's not just me sitting around talking to myself. That Discord notification reminded me of that. Oh, no, I don't want to look at the planet. That was my bad.
Yo.
Yo, man, what's up?
Not much. This will work out better for me, because I'm kind of, in a bit of shame, I'm admitting that I'm playing RuneScape over here.
Oh, wow. Why? The old one, at least?
Yeah, I only play old school. I don't play the new weird shit. They're actually adding an update to the well, it's called old school now, or RS2. They have RS3, which now has like skills like World of Warcraft or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I play classic.
I remember when Spanish played back in the day, and I played it a very little bit.
Oh, back in the day, man, it was the shit.
And I was like, this game is so like detailed. Like for being such an ugly game, it was so like there's so much you could do.
Yeah, they gave up graphics and they went for just content.
No. And what's weird is that sort of set the tone for like anytime I play an MMO, I'm almost always a miner. So like even EVE Online, I built myself a mining ship and just went out and mined and sold, and then would go out and mine and sell stuff. Like I had no real intention to go get into a combat situation. It like because it's one of those games you can kind of play however you want. And that started with RuneScape, technically. Like, not that.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me because like when I first started playing this game, I actually played when it would be classic now was the thing. That's the old school 2D animation game back in like '98.
Oh wow.
And kind of just I don't know. I just find myself coming back to this game every once in a while.
What's funny? I didn't Yeah, I didn't know that. I remember we were talking about it at some point. I didn't dawn on me that you.
I've started getting back into it. Like my brother plays a little bit, so like it's one of the few opportunities I actually get to like play and talk to him. So plus like it's really fun because like it's one of the few games besides like actual like survival like build craft stuff games where like I'm not really feeling into like being intense or focusing. I can kind of just relax and grind through this.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why I play this game. Like the whole point of me doing this is it's like people apparently like to watch it. Like I just had somebody new on a Mixer come by and they're like, yeah, I really like this game. I just don't own it. I was like, that's cool, like, And then Johnny Baby Cow, one of mine and Spanish's viewers, is like, he really likes it. Of course, I don't think he came by. I don't know if he doesn't get notifications or if he just, he is in school, so it's kind of late for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like so people are like, oh yeah, I just want to watch. Like, yeah, it's cool. But it's I really like it. It's just like I said, there's an AI storyteller is what it's called, and basically it sort of picks what happens to you. So my I picked the more relaxed one, and was just like, I'm just gonna damn it, sorry. Sort of play it and chill out when I get off work and decompress, and it doesn't get too stressful. Although there's been a couple surprises at the end of the stream where it's like one of them there was just this huge fire up in like the north part of the map, and it's like where the fuck did that come from? And then the last stream, my last colonists from my original because you start with 3 people, and my last one of my original 3 died. So all the people I'm having are all people I've acquired through playing. And it's kind of fun.
So it's not like it's the opposite of Walking Dead. The core team is dead. It didn't grow; it died.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a little heartbreaking.
A cow has given birth. I've got a nice little farm going, and
I was gonna do something, forgot what the fuck it was, so yeah, I'm over here just kind of grinding. I'm trying to get my total skill level up right now, just because, like, I've ignored everything for the most part. Like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 skills that I have yet to even do. They're level 1. I have done just nothing.
oh wow.
But that's because I've been training heavier in more of like combat and fishing stats. And fishing stats in this game, of course, is food. There's no other real food substitute though. I mean, there's 1 or 2 potions, but for the most part, if you want to heal, you have to eat food. It's a very basic game.
Yeah. That's neat. I mean, it's cool. It's pretty neat. What was I trying to say? I don't know, because I'm dumb. I forgot what I was saying.
I'm tired too. I didn't have exactly a big dinner and I'm drinking beer, so you're good.
Yeah, I was getting ready to have a couple sips of Jack. I ate some chili a second ago. I was like, I'm just gonna wait a minute and do that. There we go.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. The only reason I still kind of like this game is I had like back in the day I used to be a big like PvPer.
Mhm.
And I used to have a big group of friends. You know, we'd PvP every night. And on weekends we do crazy stuff. But it's just fun kind of to grind on if you're up for that. But the one thing I like about it is it's fairly basic in the sense that you have melee, you have range, and you have magic. But you know, of course, certain ones beat other ones.
Right.
But it's only because of armor type. So if you're mixing and matching, and you're like the great PvPers will switch between all 3 classes. So you're just laying these combos into people that are just very hard to predict. Because the skill in this game isn't necessarily from like the gear you have, because your melee feature, like if you're using, doesn't matter really what weapon you're using, you have a couple stances with it. And those stances kind of affect like the stats of the weapon. So like if the stats are like a good stabbing weapon, then you can usually get more of a piercing technique. So it's just little shit like that which will get some benefit out of it, but it's more in the combo utilization of skills, because like if I have a sword, I can only max so much, but if I, you know, combo from sword to magic, I can be doing multiple things and causing multiple levels of high level damage.
Nice. Oh, I forgot about this.
Is that guy naked?
It was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna let it slide because his name's Scary, and I just don't really expect a whole lot of like great things from a guy named Scary.
Well, his name was Dems, and then this guy popped on Mixer and was like, "Hey, can you name one after you?" And I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, sure." His name was Scary Gorilla. I was like, "I have the perfect guy for you." So he was addicted to booze. Essentially, he was a boozeaholic, and he kept going on these rampages where he would. So I ended up taking his gun away. He's a really good shooter, but I took his gun away but he actually got over this addiction. But yeah, he was fucking people up. He was just messing up my whole crew.
So you got over an addiction?
Yeah. So like if I go to his health, it was the top one above his torso. It was like whatever addiction, and then it had a percentage. I was like, I hope when that percentage gets like 100%, it goes away, and that's what it did. That was kind of neat, but like he had no access to it, so he was just, you know, whatever. Like I didn't have it, so he just kept getting angry and losing his shit. I need to know what temperature. Oh, this is refrigerated. Oh, that's a freeze. Why are my cows sleeping in my freezer? It is negative.
Nice and cool. You get some good sleep.
Negative 10 degrees there.
I would sleep there if I could. I love the cold. You know, I probably have to like cut one of the cows open and sleep inside of it for that to work.
This is.
Just coming in the morning like, oh hey man.
Oh, guess we're eating that one today.
I'll tell you what, I feel kind of responsible. I'll go ahead and just get to butchering.
Put a heater in this room. So I'm making a little area to store fertilized eggs. What just happened is I lost them. My turkeys are laying eggs, but they're not getting through. Oh, that my wolf just brought me stuff to help build. That's hilarious. Look at him go. Yeah.
What a good boy.
But I'll make this just for incubation. So the only thing that would go in it. What did the turkey just put that gun in there? What are my animals doing? They're all being weird. Hey, you didn't finish building the... Oh, what do we need for that door? Stealing components. Oh, Chili's gonna break again because his son is dead. He has 10 more days of that. Oh my god. So, are you still watching the stream?
I was for just a second. I got a... So, sorry.
That's alright.
I'm watching it now.
Alright, if you see these things with the big cyst things all over their back,
Yeah.
those are called boomalope, and there's them and there's another one, and they explode when you kill them and make fire, and they make a big fire and shit. And I had a herd of them get, like a handful of them get angry and start attacking, so I had to kill them. But because they were vicious, they were attacking like my people too. Like they came into my town and like my little building area, and like I was so upset about it. I think that's actually what ended up killing my last, the last of my original colonists was those things.
Man, they sound a little brutal.
Yeah, they're fucking irritating. All that milk, dog.
Apparently my Google account was attempted to be accessed from the Netherlands yesterday.
Oh, nice. That sucks. I've had one of those.
Through a Firefox browser.
Oh, who the fuck? Actually, I can't say that. I actually have Firefox on my thing.
No
still.
one uses Firefox.
Yeah.
It's probably because I've been talking about like fuck the government so much lately. I haven't been saying fuck the government. I'm saying fuck media.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood.
Maybe they thought that you said Holland would, and they're like, "Hey, that's not okay."
Well, I've been talking mad shit about Hollywood lately. Like you've heard about Larry Weinstein, right?
I've heard the name, yeah.
So he's a famous director, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to light that about the past 3 decades, he has been just like raping and just mistreating women. Give me 1 second, and I'll give you some first-hand stories that I heard from some of these women that as they came onto these shows and talked about it.
Oh boy.
So it's up to you whether you believe these women or not. I'm not going to throw out names, but one woman was a Hispanic woman, and you hear her screaming. She recorded what had happened. She had her phone in her pocket, so all you see is blackness in the conversation. And apparently, what this man would do is he would be in a bathrobe, and he would talk to female or actresses between 18 to 24, and talk them into coming into his hotel room. And apparently, most of the time when they got there, he would disrobe and then physically try to rape them, forcing them to give him a blowjob.
Oh wow.
And several of the women mentioned that like the more you struggled, the more he enjoyed it. So it was a very weird, sadistic thing for them because they compared it to like when a hunter's like finishing off an animal that's suffering in a non-humane way.
Yeah.
The just pure sick joy that like almost murderers get when they kill people.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's what rapists are probably in that same boat. Like. But
Yeah.
that's super shitty. Like, and people in power, like a lot of executives and stuff, and not limited to Hollywood, but Hollywood especially. It's like this guy is in power. He's a connection for you. He can help you out. Like,
I'm gonna back up that statement for you.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, my internet just fucking shit the bed.
Nice.
As it does occasionally. Because North Carolina, probably. Alright, so you're saying Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were defending her, and then, like, oh look, more people are saying that he's doing it.
No, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were actually accused this woman of lying and being a terrible person. And then a couple years later, it turned out she was just one of the many people. But because of other people in power, we're kind of like, nah, this bitch is lying. It kind of got to just keep getting swept underneath the table for longer and longer. It took 30 years before, like, finally people were like, oh shit, this is a lot of people saying this, and this is a lot of people with recordings of it happening. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, I'm not sure if you know about this, but there's a lot of, like, independent news agencies. You've heard of, like, Alex Jones, Common Sense Radio. Well, they have these partners and teams that actually will try and infiltrate these sort of like media organizations and stuff and find this sort of stuff out. And it's not necessarily them when I say this, but there's been a group calling for what they said they were going to do was shed the light of the evil underside of Hollywood and how it's become so corrupt. And this might be just the first thing that we see that will slowly unravel Hollywood. And it might be the part of the reason I just felt so soulless and just all about money here lately.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely been about, like, that's one of the things I think a lot of people don't realize is that I watch a lot of stuff on film now, like from everything from just like weird stuff about movies. So, like I've kind of now, like, if I watch a movie, if you ever watch like Everything Wrong With by CinemaSins. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. But it goes through and obviously you watch a movie and there's suspension of disbelief, and you can't just expect everything to be 100% realistic. But like he'll go through and be like, this doesn't make sense, or this is dumb. Like, why is there narration here? Why is there 15 minutes of intro credits? Like that kind of stuff, right? And all sorts of, and it's fantastic. But after watching that, now I watch a movie and no matter how. It's not even like, I'm like, why is this happening? What's going on here? Like, this doesn't make any sense, And that's on top of my already nitpicky brain of like, this is a bad idea. This is a stupid thing that they're doing, Like.
Yeah. Well, I always had that problem where it's like, attention to detail just seems to be skipped. I understand that budgets have to be meet, but I just want to see one movie where a guy's like, you know what, man? I'm not going to hire an A-list celebrity. I'm going to go ahead and save some money. If that's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
But I'm going to save some money. I'm going to, you know, invest and actually make a nice detailed scenery. Take the time to write out a script that actually makes sense, where people are going to be like, how the fuck did he just do that? Didn't, like, she say he couldn't do that? Like, he couldn't use that relic, but it turns out all of a sudden now he has, like, part of her blood in it. What happened?
Yeah. What was it? The first Iron Man was kind of like that. Like, I mean, you think Marvel movies now, and they're cashing in on everything, but like the one that kicked off modern Marvel movies was Iron Man, and like they didn't want Robert Downey Jr. They didn't want John Favreau. I don't like saying his last name because I always forget the appropriate way to say it. They didn't want him directing it. Like, they wanted all these people and they weren't getting it, and then they got John Favreau as a director, and he wanted Robert Downey Jr. and they're like no, and Robert Downey Jr. is like, yeah, come on, look, and they're like no, and then, but like because he was in a slump, like he wasn't an A-list actor anymore. He was like, drugged out, getting out of rehab. He's been in a bunch of trouble, blah blah blah, and like they didn't want him, and finally everything fell into place, and
I mean, he was always a good actor, but yeah, definitely like. But if they wouldn't have made the movie without either one of those people, I would not have enjoyed it near as much as I did.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is one of those people that's kind of have like that charm about him. Just like looking at him, you're like, I like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from the second I saw him, because apparently Iron Man wasn't that big outside. Like, people didn't know him outside of comic circles. Like, he never had like his own TV show, like Spider-Man or X-Men or whatever. So it's sort of a.
You talking about like Robert Downey Jr.?
No, like Iron Man before the movies, like Tony Stark and Iron Man. Like before those movies came out, there wasn't a big base for him that wasn't the comic book base. Like you probably maybe had some people who played like the Avengers video games, whatever, but from like Super Nintendo and stuff. But those were not the same as what am I looking for here? I'm looking for something. Okay, I'm gonna just TV. But like, so there was a lot of things that they did. Like Marvel risked a lot to make the movies they made, or that movie, and it was like, but they wanted something that was theirs, and so like they made a good movie, and now it's like you look at even Iron Man 2, I wasn't a big fan of. I like 3, I wasn't a big fan of 2, or Thor: The Dark World or whatever, like that one wasn't great, like but like they're pumping out
that
these
one.
sequels.
I feel like they kind of just whipped up an enemy and they're like, oh, here you go, now you can find something. It's like,
Dark Elves, yeah,
and they're somehow getting through this like impenetrable. Okay, fine, whatever. They're just gonna kill him anyways.
No. Yeah, it was this guy needs to be slaughtered for food.
No, the first one definitely way more. It was way more captivating for me, like just the whole story and.
Okay. And the other thing too is that like in the first Iron Man, there was a bunch of Easter eggs that were put in there that weren't actually hinting at anything. It was the production crew like, this would be funny to have in here. This would be a cool nod to the comics. Da 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 da. And then basically when Iron Man fucking exploded, Marvel's like, yeah, those were all hints to other movies. And they're like, let's make all these movies, like, but I mean, it's Marvel, it's Marvel's baby, like, it's their,
well, I mean, the dream has always been, which one's fucking Marvel? It's not Justice League. Oh, well, I guess it's Infinity Wars.
Yeah. But see, that the thing is that was the whole Avengers everything. When the first Iron Man was made, that wasn't a thing. And even the Nick Fury thing at the end of the credits, like, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. That wasn't actually. It was like it was a last minute thing that they apparently they came up with to put in the movie as sort of like a nod to the comics, and because Iron Man's one of the founding Avengers. but it ended up playing into so much more than just sort of a joke at the end of the credits. Samuel L. Jackson became Nick Fury, and
I guess it would have played into the possibility of the Avengers series.
yeah, well, it's sort of that the Iron Man movie sparked that, but it wasn't. We're gonna go to the Avengers. Let's do Iron Man first. It was Iron Man exploded. There was already all these Easter eggs. They had the Nick Fury scene at the end, and they're like, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. That's what we're doing. Like, we're doing it."
That's funny. I've always thought about it like I didn't know about the Iron Man Easter egg stuff. I always thought about it kind of as like they were gonna try and introduce Iron Man, Thor. What's some of the other ones they've been doing?
Well, the ones getting their own movies. Oh, we have Ant-Man now. They got Spider-Man back.
I feel like there was someone else that they did like a couple movie series with.
Yeah, who the hell? The Guardians, Captain America, Thor.
Captain America, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
But I feel like they kind of started off with the core group of the Avengers, and like, look, if these movies, build into something, then we start trying to push Avengers and see what happens.
Well,
I didn't realize it was more of kind of like maybe sort of like just fan build up that's kind of like, oh, okay, we'll do this.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened. It was sort of like doing a sequel for the right reason. I feel like, to a degree, because some people, they see, they're successful and they're like, let's write, a lot of movie studios have been like, hell yeah, we were successful. Let's do Iron Man 2. And they took a second and went, hold on, we can do way more than just another Iron Man movie. We can do all of these other, we can go to the Avengers, and we can do the write up to the Avengers, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. So the Guardians of the Galaxy are integral to the storyline, to the overarching story that they're telling. As far as the comics go, they're integral to one another, the Avengers and the Guardians. So I think what they did is they took the Guardians of the Galaxy, made it a standalone movie. Oh, hold on.
Oh, it's all tied. It's all gonna be tied in by Infinity Stones. I mean, Vision himself, a part of Avengers, is an Infinity Stone.
Yeah, and then I think I saw one theory that Heimdall has one of them. The Idris Elba's character from Thor, because he has the orange one on his chest, or has an orange stone on his chest, and what you call it? There he is. That's what lets him like see everything, I guess. That's a theory. I don't know how true it is. And then like part of the justification was like he's wearing his armor and it has the orange eyes that match the stone. And then when you see him in Dark World or whatever, where doesn't have his armor anymore, his eyes are totally white instead.
You talking about Vision?
No, Heimdall. That's the Idris Elba, the black guy from Thor, the guy, okay, the keeper of the Rainbow Road.
The keeper.
Yeah, the keeper. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was let's get rid of some of this garbage. Hold on to this.
The Nova Corps has one locked away.
Yeah, the Nova Corps has one locked away. But yeah, so with the Guardians of the Galaxy, if the Guardians failed, they could have wrote around they could have wrote around the Guardians of the Galaxy. Had Nova Corps involved, like, basically, as a side thought, like Thanos shows up, fucking ganks it and takes off or whatever. But because Guardians exploded, then we got a second Guardians, and now they're gonna be in Infinity War. Like, it's just pretty neat to me. Like, that's a thing.
It's been one of my more favorites, just because of the banter and the team chemistry versus everyone else. Everyone else has been more like just a normal dynamic, but they're like smart asses and thieves and just kind of just do what they want.
Yeah, it's they're what you call it? Oh, a chain shotgun. That sounds sweet. What's the word I'm looking for? None of them are main characters, essentially. Like, all of the Avengers are a main character. Thor has his own movie. Iron Man has his own movie. Captain America has his own movie. Like, you know, and now you have Doctor Strange
Suicide
and
Squad.
yeah, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, they was all called. They weren't heroes themselves, but together
Yeah,
it was a team.
yeah. Well, oh yeah, like yeah, a bunch of not primaries. But yeah, so that's what they're, you know, that's sort of the difference between Guardians and when you do the Avengers, you have to Hulk. You have to who had his own movies, although he had them under Fox. Marvel can only show the Hulk in a group setting. He can't. Marvel cannot produce their own Hulk movie. It has to be part of the Avengers, or like he's going to be in Thor Ragnarok, but he's a character in Thor's movie. He's not the lead
That
character.
explains it. Because I was very confused as to why Thor wasn't getting Thor planet like he was supposed, or Hulk planet like he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Instead, he got roped together in Ragnarok. And that explains it for me because I was very confused about that.
Yeah.
It's such an awkward legal loophole that
Mhm.
they have on that.
Yep. And then, but like the other thing, like Spider-Man, Marvel can do standalone Spider-Man movies now, but like Sony owns the merchandising rights. So like that's why the Spider-Man video game is only coming out on the PS4 because Sony owns that. They own the rights to make that. So
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we can get money off of this.
yeah. So that's part of the reason they did it. But basically they own a bunch of they get a bunch of stuff out of it. It's just kind of interesting. This chain shotgun is assault rifle, I think. How much am I selling so far? I'm not selling nearly enough stuff for this. Though I need to be able to defend my group. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I forget how we got into that. Oh yeah, sequels. But yeah, so like, I feel like the way that they're going about everything is more thought out than just this movie exploded. It had a clear ending, but let's make a sequel. Like John Wick, which mind you, I love John Wick, and I really like John Wick 2. Or, no, The Hangover. The Hangover was a great movie. I loved it, but the sequels were dumb. There's no reason to do 3 of them. You know,
Right.
like
You should just went a bit off the one-off fucking funny, like Superbad. Superbad could have been like, you know, the after or the before, but they said no. Good enough. Let it just be what it is.
Yep, exactly. I did like 23 Jump Street, the Channing Tatum.
I'll allow
Jonah
that
Hill.
exception just because it was so ridiculous and funny.
And it was so aware of itself. Yeah, it was just aware of itself. It made fun of the fact that it's the same fucking movie that, you know, like, I don't know, just something about it made me like it tickled me. But I don't think that there was ever an idea to do a sequel until the first one was pretty successful. And so it was kind of neat, you know, like sometimes it works out. You see it in video games sometimes too. Like Mass Effect, for instance, was planned to be a trilogy from the beginning. I read way before it ever launched that it was a 3-part series. And then the first one came out, and I loved it. The second one came out, and the story was neat, but I actually didn't like 2. A lot of people like 2 the most. To me, the first one was the best. If for nothing else, if you read all the little canon stuff, they, you know, like, you unlock data files or whatever, and you can learn about it. It's like they tell you why guns basically have infinite ammo, and they essentially take a chunk of metal and you stick it in the gun like a magazine, and it fires a single fucking atom from it at like light speed or whatever, and so whatever it hits, it damages, right? And but it's literally firing like a single atom, so you have millions, trillions of bullets in a little chunk of metal. And then in 2, they're like, we have to limit your ammo, but we can't, so we have to add these heat coils. And it's like, okay, well, if it's a heat thing, then that means if I shoot like 10 times, I have to change a coil out or wait for it. Or if I like 2 shots and then wait a second, if I fire 2 shots and wait a second, I should never have to change it. And it was like little stuff like that that made me not like 2 very much, and that stuck around in 3, but it was planned out. And then you have games like, God, I don't know, probably Dark Souls. All the Dark Souls games are fun. I was trying to think of a game that was clearly never supposed to have a sequel, and then they did anyways. Like the Fable series. None of them are connected necessarily, but they're all similar games, but they just kept riding it until they ruined the series. You know, like, it was, the first one was a hit, let's make a second one. The second one, people bought it because they really liked the first one, let's make another one. And I made Fable 3, and people were like, and they're like, hey, I know, let's make a Connect game. And people were like, oh, fuck that. Like, why did we do that? You know? Like, why are people buying these games? So.
It was a good game that they had a chance. I think they planned on just making it 1. Of course, I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
But I think they had a chance of making it 1. It blew up bigger than they thought it would. Said, hey, let's make 2 or 3 out of it. And they're like, all right, cool. And then they kind of really didn't stick to the core of the game. They kind of just something out and didn't really stick. And then tried something different. But the still basic fundamentals were still there enough to make it Fable.
Yeah. But I remember, back to Mass Effect for some reason, I remember when they announced Mass Effect 2, and people were like, oh my god, they announced a sequel for Mass Effect 2, there was speculation, but we didn't know. And I was like, no, before the game, like a year before the game ever launched, they said that it's a trilogy. They said that right off the start, like, it is a trilogy. You know?
The only one I've ever played was the second one.
Really? I have, I think I have all 3 on the 360, and then I have 2 on PC.
I think I own the first one, but it was so hard to get used to the combat system. It's like, I don't feel like grinding through this for, I'm not sure how long the campaign or the whole single player campaign is with no side missions, but if it was 8 to 12 hours, I didn't feel like dealing with it. It was just that annoying.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like the combat enough.
I think for what it was in its time, it would have been good. But for newer generation stuff, I'm kind of like, this is basic, little bit of troublesome.
Yeah. Well, there was a kind of a time frame where that sort of the party strategy meets shooter was a thing. Mass Effect did it, but before Mass Effect did it, there was Brothers in Arms, which was like supposed to be like a pretty realistic World War II shooter, and it had but like you were a sergeant, but you were in charge of your squad. You're the ranking person in your squad. And so what they would do is, like, when you got into combat, you could go to like an overhead camera and see the battlefield and tell your guys like where to go and like how to flank and take cover. And like, I really like that like style. Actually, I was gonna stream that for 4th of July and then ended up not. It's a little slow for modern, by modern standards, but it's like all rooted in reality. It's a good feeling game. But that was on the original Xbox, if I recall correctly. The first one was, but it's fun. And then there was also one of my favorite multiplayer games of all time, Full Spectrum Warrior, which was you controlled your whole. Basically, it was a third-person shooter where you were a squad of 4, and there was 2 squads of 4, so you had Alpha and Bravo. And I forget. Oop, mad animal. And single player, if you controlled both squads, oh, it's a tortoise. Oh no, an angry turtle. But you could, I forget if in single player if you controlled both or just one, because I literally never played it single player, only played it on Xbox Live. But not only was it strategy where you controlled 4 dudes on your team and you could jump between them or issue commands, tell them where to go, but you could also do that with, you could control them, and then you had somebody else win the same thing. That was a pretty sweet game in that sense. So like the strategy, but I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think everybody would enjoy it that way. Oh, it's been an hour. Let's see, I'm gonna let this guy kill this turtle, and I'm gonna save and wrap up. If you wanna play some pub, whatever, I'm down.
What time is it?
Fuck, 1:30.
Ah, fuck. Nah, I should go to bed.
Alright. Well, that's cool, man. Thanks for chatting with me. Actually, it's kind of nice to have someone just to actually talk to while I was streaming.
Yeah, I hadn't had a really chance to play with you for a while, so I figured I'd just hang out and talk for a bit.
Word. Alright, man. We have a good night, and hit me up. I'm off all day tomorrow. I assume you, if you want to, whatever at some point, just let me know.
Yeah, if I don't have my lady friend coming over tomorrow, yeah, I might as well play video games, right?
Nah, heck yeah.
The pain! I'm good, I'm just gonna kill someone. I'm gonna kill all of them in the face.
Alright. Alright, man.
Yeah, man.
Peace out. Later. Alright, and everybody watching, I appreciate y'all. Follow me on Twitter for updates. Join my Discord, which I think if you're on YouTube at least, there's a link for it. If you're not on YouTube, you can go to my YouTube channel, and it's on my About, which is anywhere if you're watching, it's the same thing. It's Mad Mr. Tanuki, all one word. Follow me on Twitter, at Mad Mr. Tanuki. You can join my Discord. It's not a super active channel. I use it mostly for playing games with people. But, I'd like to be more active. I'd like to have more people to talk to in it. But I appreciate you all. And thanks for coming by. I hope to see you guys next time. Tomorrow is Friday, and I have... Wait, no, shoot, I work tomorrow. I don't work Saturday, I think. I'm double checking my schedule before I say that. I think I lied to Jason. Oh. All these weird innuendo-laden shit I took pictures at work. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh man. What is it? It is Thursday. Oh, I worked. Was I not supposed to work tonight? No. What? Did I mess up my schedule? No. I'm sorry. I'm looking at next week's schedule. Okay, yeah, I do work tomorrow. I work tomorrow night and have Saturday off. So if you're not a school-age person and you're not doing anything tomorrow, I may drop a stream in the middle of the day for some Forza. After work tomorrow, I might try to get some people on for pub as a player on Battleground. I don't put the G on the end because Battleground is one word, so you wouldn't use the G. It's dumb. Just call it pub. Or Plunkbat if you prefer. But yeah. So thanks everybody. You have a great night. And I will see you later. Goodbye. Oh, before I forget. I do series streams. Half-Life actually just beat their first Half-Life, so I'm doing Half-Life Blue Shift next. That's going to be on Tuesday, and then next Thursday is Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, and I think that's I will beat it. I will beat The Old Blood on Thursday. I did the first half last week. If you want to get caught up on those series, my YouTube channel, Mr. Tanuki. All right, all done with the plugs.